This is Gachiakuta, a weird, experimental, and insane series like nothing you've ever seen before. What if I told you that this isn't the work of an author who's been in the game for years, but someone's very first manga? Are you kidding me? Like, look at my drawings next to hers. What even is this? I'm gonna show you how this new author completely broke the rules of manga for her very first series ever. And most importantly,
in this video, we'll be reacting to Gachiakuta taking the anime world by storm. And honestly, it feels like the start of a new era. No one expected it to hit this hard. When people first heard Gachiakuta was getting an adaptation, the reaction was mixed. Another dark shonen, they said. But the moment that first episode dropped, it was over. The art, the sound design, the world building, everything just screamed different.
Did it work? When Rana was just a kid starting on her manga journey, she got so mad that she broke one of her most important treasures, the pen she used for drawing. She felt really terrible because she had treated something precious like it was worthless garbage. And that's the moment where the idea for her first manga was born, Gachiakuta. Rana's goal was very simple, to show us that just because you throw something away, it doesn't mean it's trash. But when she finally started working on Gachiakuta, she ran into her first big problem. She couldn't do it alone. When you look at really popular manga out there, it's almost always one author who does the writing and the drawing. And yeah, they'll usually have some really talented assistants helping with a bunch of stuff, but the main creator is the author. And that just couldn't work with Gachiakuta for one good reason. You see, the world of this manga is basically divided into two. There's the sphere, which is this island in the sky, and then there's the ground, which is this massive desert that's literally built from the trash that people from the sphere throw away. And that's all.
This isn't your average underdog story. Gachiakuta feels raw, it feels alive. It's got that energy that only comes once every few years, like when Attack on Titan first aired or when Jujutsu Kaisen blew up. But this time, it's not about curses or titans, it's about chaos, trash, and redemption.
Also where like 99% of the story happens. The more Rana thought about it, the more she realized something. If this place was going to feel like it actually exists, she absolutely needed someone who could actually do real street art. That's when Ando Hideyoshi came in. This man is an artist who spent years mastering the craft of graffiti. Someone who knew everything there was to know about street art. Ando himself said that outside of this collaboration, a lot of people would see him like a criminal because of his street art. But Rana knew his work was exactly what Gachiakuta needed. The risk for her first manga was insane. Different artistic styles, disagreements, and potentially a manga that would just feel kind of weird. Not only did she decide to collaborate with another artist, she chose to collaborate with an artist from a completely different artistic world. This was something that had basically almost never been done in manga. So she had no idea if it was going to work until they tried it. And when Rana finally saw Ando's graffiti combined with her characters for the first time, her reaction was a big fat dude. This is sick! Ando would create these massive graffiti that Rana would put directly onto her scenes. She absolutely loved using his art because it added new layers to the story and made everything look way cooler. It was a way to show the energy and the underground feeling that made Gachiakuta, Gachiakuta. And that brings me...
And let's talk about the visuals. Studio Bones went absolutely insane. Every frame feels like graffiti brought to life. It's chaotic, messy, vibrant, but that's what makes it beautiful. The world of Gachiakuta looks like it shouldn't exist, yet somehow it's more real than most clean-cut fantasy settings we've seen in years. It's not just another cool new anime, it's a statement. Gachiakuta is reminding everyone why anime became a global phenomenon in the first place, that it takes the pain, the dirt, the raw emotion of life and turns it into art.
Rana knew that all of this insane graffiti and fashion would only work if the characters were also insane. Check this out. This is a scene where the main character grabs a dude out of pure rage and look at his face. This is the moment when he tries coffee for the first time in his life and his reaction is perfect. And this is when he tries to smile for the first time. Just Imagine seeing someone looking at you like that. But that's just the main character. All these side characters are just walking around casually making some of the most insane facial expressions I've seen in my entire freaking life. We're talking bulging eyes that look like they're about to pop out of your skull, diabolical smiles, and some of the most intense anger you could imagine. In manga history, we went through the tough guy era, then we went into the hero with a tragic past era. But recently, we've been seeing this slow change where authors are kind of starting to create these weird and unhinged protagonists and characters. And as Kei Urana said herself, in manga, I can pour all my emotions into characters and express the things I want to do in my head. The chaos in my mind comes out. And to say that these characters are chaotic would be a tiny bit of an understatement. Their designs have these long arms and legs and crazy proportions, and she draws hands that are generally like super expressive. Like you can fully understand their personalities just from the way they move. These extreme characters actually feel like someone just put their feelings onto a paper. And let's be honest, in most series, this kind of unhinged stuff would probably just be used for funny moments. But Urana uses it in every type of situation. Sad moments, action scenes, everyday life. This creates these really strong scenes that most character designs just can't match. You feel what these characters are feeling because the emotions are so obvious in like the best way possible. But the truly insane part is that you can also see this weirdness in all of the characters' personalities. Take the protagonist Rudo, for example. This dude is an orphan that lives in a slum, but then he got thrown off a literal cliff after being accused of a crime he never did. He's rough, he doesn't know how to smile or even how to have a normal conversation with people. He is not a regular main character. And it's the same for everyone else. Every single one of these characters feel like they've just been through really difficult stuff in their lives. They all have big problems and horrible pasts that you slowly get to discover the more you read about them. Instead of trying to make her characters more likable, Urana fully 100% leans into their flaws and, emotional damage. These are people that were thrown away like trash, even though they're people. Kei Urana actually said something about this that kind of made me laugh. I create them to be decent people, but then I actually draw them, and for some reason they turn out to be freaky weirdos. I've given up, realizing that this is who they truly are. The truth is, most
people are saying it's the next Chainsaw Man, but maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. Chainsaw Man was about chaos and survival. Gachiakuta is about what comes after. About what happens when society throws you away and you have to fight just to prove you exist. So yeah, Gachiakuta didn't just drop, it exploded. And if it keeps this momentum, we might be witnessing the birth of the next anime giant.